Hi, this is Ryan Donovan. I'm CUNA's Chief Advocacy Officer. Thank you for joining me this week for the Advocacy Update. Here are 4 things you need to know about advocacy this week. 1 month into the coronavirus pandemic, we're making a lot of progress in achieving our goals of making sure credit unions remain in a position to serve their members now during the crisis and into recovery, but there are a lot of issues that remain. Work continues on implementing the Paycheck Protection Program, but there are a number of pain points that we've run into. Our priorities for the next round of stimulus and recovery legislation are coming into focus, and the CUNA League COVID-19 survey remains open. This is what I call my periodic table for the issues that we're working on. It describes all of the things that we've been working on. I'm sure we've missed a couple here, but you get the idea that there are more than 40 different issues that the CUNA League advocacy team are working on to try to make sure we protect credit unions' interests during this process. We've made progress on a number of them really early on, making sure that we sent a message that credit unions need to be involved in the overall solution. When there were irresponsible journalism that resulted in runs on cash in some credit unions, we made sure that NCUA, Treasury, and others were messaging the safety and soundness of credit unions. We were able to get some provisions into the phase 3 stimulus that have proved helpful. Of course, we got NCUA to put out some guidance very early on that helped credit unions continue their operations during this pandemic. But there's a lot of issues that remain, and one of the key ones has to do with the implementation of the Paycheck Protection Program. There have just been a lot of pain points. This is a big program. It was stood up very quickly within a week of enactment without a lot of infrastructure behind it, and that caused some problems in the first week. It made it more difficult for credit unions to serve their business lending members to meet the expectations that credit union members have for their credit unions. We're working through the kinks in the system, but as you can see here, there has been a lot of concern from lack of support from the SBA to the inability to access the SBA systems. It was hard to get guidance on dispersing loans very early on. There's just a lot of uncertainty. We're now into the second full week of the program, and we're hopeful that those kinks are going to continue to be worked out. Congress is also working on legislation to add more money to the program, and we're very supportive of those efforts. Even though Congress is out of session right now, there's a lot of work that's going into putting together what's being called CV4, the Phase 4 stimulus and recovery legislation. And we've got a number of priorities in that, from increasing appropriations for the Community Development Financial Institution Fund and the Community Development Revolving Loan Fund, providing some MBL flexibility, exempting loans from the MBL cap for the next several years so that credit unions can deploy available credit to small businesses, extending the expansion of the central liquidity facility, taking a look at whether or not credit unions can be borrowers from the Paycheck Protection Program or another program so that we can continue employment at credit unions that have been impacted by the crisis, eliminating or increasing the transfer limit under Regulation D, providing for national remote notary authorization, extending the FASB CECL accounting standard, providing some flexibility under PCA so that as we get further into the crisis, credit unions that are working with their members and otherwise safe and sound can have some flexibility under the prompt corrective action regulations, and other issues that we're going to be working on as Congress puts together this next round of recovery and stimulus legislation. Lastly, I want to just remind everybody that the CUNA League COVID-19 survey remains open. This is a really critical instrument for us to be able to tell the story on Capitol Hill, to make sure that we understand the issues that you're running into at your credit unions. So please take a few minutes and fill that out. If you filled it out before, go ahead and do it again. If there's updated information that we can be aware of, we've got a way of making sure that the data isn't duplicative. And then thank you very much. Thanks for staying engaged. Thanks for serving your members. If there's anything that we can do, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And we're always happy to engage. And I hope everybody has a great week. Thanks so much.